Roslyn, are you out of the hospital?
Yeah, I'm leaving soon. Just packing up and signing some papers.
I'm at work, so I can't get you. Do you have a ride? Or can you take a taxi?
Don't worry, my mom is picking me up. My parents want me to stay with them. I won't be home for a while.
Don't you think she's overreacting? Are you okay with that? Your mother is hysterical. She just wants control over your life.
Actually, I think we need some space. She called me this morning and we talked. My parents are mad at you. I have a huge burn on my face now. They're worried.
Come on, it's not that bad. You'll get over it. It's not like I meant to burn you. It's not my fault.
I know, but my parents don't trust you.
When will they stop blaming me for everything? You chose to sit under the kettle.
Are you kidding? You can't blame me for this.
Well, it's not my fault you were there. I tripped with the kettle because of your legs. If you sat on a chair like normal, this wouldn't have happened.
We have a small apartment and there's no room to sit. I always sit by the desk to watch TV. You know that. Maybe you should have paid attention to the kettle instead of your phone.
Don't blame me now. You were in the way. That's it. I did nothing wrong. Stop listening to your paranoid parents and listen to me, your husband.
My parents aren't paranoid. They're worried and they have a point. Why should I listen to you?
If you don't trust me, why don't we just divorce? Stop complaining. It's annoying. I don't want your folks accusing me all the time. They hate me and always will. What happened was an accident. I'm no criminal. Why do I have to deal with this? I'm over it.
My parents told me to divorce you since we married. They saw something in you I didn't. I thought they were wrong, but look where that got me.
Since we married? Why didn't they say anything then?
They didn't want to ruin the day. They trusted me to make my own decisions.
They are just cowards who never say anything to my face.
My whole family is worried about me, about us. They've seen how you treat me. It's embarrassing.
How I treat you? You're my wife, not my boss or my friend. Why should I treat you better than you deserve?
They've heard how you talk to me. My sister asked me once if I was okay with you talking down to me. I was ashamed. I ignored them at first, but now it's clear. You've treated me like trash for our whole relationship. I'm sorry I didn't listen sooner. I could have saved myself years of pain.
Your family is full of liars and meddlers. I've done nothing wrong. If they want to start a war with me, fine.
You always make fun of me and think you're right and I'm wrong. My family noticed right away. I can't ignore it anymore. It's not just them either. My friends have been concerned for years.
Why does everyone butt into our life? It's none of their business.
You insult me and belittle me in public. How can they ignore that?
You know, they know you well enough to see that you deserve this. You're not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. You can't even keep the house clean. I've never seen someone so inept. Have you been talking about me behind my back too? You're just as two-faced as your folks. Maybe you all should take a good look at yourselves before pointing fingers at me.
Despite everything, I never thought about leaving you. Until now, that is. I think I finally get what everyone's been saying. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm reminded of how cold you've been to me. This is the last straw. If I decided to stay with you now, my parents would drag me away. We have no choice but to divorce.
Well, if that's how it is, let's get a divorce. It's not like it matters to me. Honestly, I'll be better off without you. All you do is spend my money anyway. And let's not even talk about your new look. It's off-putting.
Off-putting? I thought you said it wasn't that bad.
Are you kidding? You look like something out of a horror movie. Your face is a mess. I don't want to share a room with you anymore. I'd wake up and think I'm still in a nightmare. I don't want you anywhere near me. You make my skin crawl. Divorce is clearly the only option here. Thanks for bringing it up so I didn't have to.
How can you say such things? Don't you have any compassion?
No, not for someone who looks like you do now. It would be social suicide to be seen with you. I don't see you as my wife anymore, or even as a woman for that matter. You're barely recognizable as human. There's no reason to stay married to someone like you.
This is all your fault. My face is permanently scarred because of your carelessness. You couldn't put down your phone for 1 second. It's your fault. My face is ruined and it's all because of you. Are you just going to abandon me and not take any responsibility? After all these years of loyalty, this is how you repay me?
Whatever. It was your idea to get a divorce in the first place. Don't start begging me to take you back now. If we both want a divorce, then we'll get one.
Would anything have changed if I hadn't brought it up first? You just said that you don't see me as your wife anymore. You would have divorced me whether or not I suggested it.
Can't argue with that.
How can you say such things without feeling even a hint of guilt? It's just cruel. You can't handle any criticism without blowing up in anger. How can you say such heartless things so easily? Don't I deserve some basic respect?
What? Are you mad at me now too? If you hate me so much, why are we still arguing? Let's just get a divorce and move on with our lives.
Fine, maybe you're right. I wish things could have ended differently between us, but there's no point in hoping for that now. I'm ready to cut ties with you completely.
Just pack up your stuff, sign the papers, and leave. That's all there is to it.
To think that I ever agreed to marry someone like you. My parents were right about you all along.
Hey, Roslyn, it's been a while. How are you?
Steven? What's up? Why are you reaching out?
It's been 5 years, hasn't it?
Yes, we haven't spoken since the divorce. I didn't expect to hear from you again. What do you want?
Nothing really. I just felt like catching up. I wasn't sure if you'd changed your number.
Is that all? Well, I'm a bit busy, so let's keep this brief.
Don't be like that. We have a lot of history together. I made an effort to reach out. You could at least pretend to be happy about it.
Why would I be happy to hear from you? I don't have anything nice to say. You must want something. What is it?
I have a proposition for you. Something that might interest you.
There's nothing involving you that could possibly interest me.
Alright, since you're not in the mood for small talk, I'll get straight to the point. I want us to get remarried. I'm sure you've been lonely these past 5 years. I'm here to save the day. What do you think? Aren't you thrilled?
Save me? Do you think I'm some sort of charity case? Why would you want to remarry me? Don't you find my appearance repulsive? It's been 5 years, Steven. I've moved on. What makes you think I'd want to remarry you?
Well, my health hasn't been great lately. I've been diagnosed with diabetes and there have been some complications. It's been tough.
Considering your lifestyle, that doesn't surprise me. You've never taken care of yourself.
What are you talking about? I take good care of myself. This isn't my fault.
Are you serious? Your diet consists of fast food and alcohol. You haven't exercised in years. Did you really think that wouldn't catch up with you eventually?
You're exaggerating. It's not that bad. Anyway, back to my point. I need a wife.
What? So you need someone to take care of you and clean up after your messes? That's not a wife, that's a mother.
Over the past 5 years, I've dated plenty of women, but none of them were right for me. They were all superficial and lazy, always wanting more and complaining nonstop. None of them were as capable as you.
The only reason you couldn't find someone suitable is because your standards are unrealistic.
What's wrong with having standards?
Everything about your standards is wrong. You're just looking for a housekeeper because you can't handle your own messes.
It's hard living alone when you're sick. I don't have the energy to clean anymore, and I can't work when I'm in the hospital all the time.
Why don't you hire a maid or ask your mom for help? I'm not going to be your personal assistant. Be realistic and ask one of your ex-girlfriends to marry you. We can't stand each other. Why would you even consider asking me?
But you're perfect for this. Now that I've been in other relationships, I realize how good I had it with you.
Don't try to flatter me. You discarded me like trash years ago.
Come on, it's not like anyone else is lining up to marry you. Do you want to be alone forever?
Not everyone is as superficial as you, Steven.
Have you looked in the mirror lately? No amount of personality can make up for that. I'm doing you a favor by asking you to remarry me.
My family and friends would never let us get remarried. Not that I want to, anyway. We divorced for a reason, Steven. I won't fall for your tricks again.
Say what you want, but aren't you lonely? I'm giving you an offer you can't refuse.
I refuse.
Is it because of your parents? We can cut them off and live peacefully.
I would never do that. My parents mean the world to me. Are you planning to isolate me from my family this time? Let me make this clear. I refuse to remarry you.
Are you out of your mind? This is a great opportunity. I'm offering you to save you from a lonely life.
Things can never go back to the way they were, Steven. I'm not the person I was 5 years ago. You never respected me or treated me as an equal. I refuse to remarry you.
Are you really that stubborn? You're not in a position to be picky. If you don't accept my proposal, you'll never get married again.
I'd rather be alone than go back to the life we had together. Do you understand?
You ungrateful woman. I'm doing this for your own good.
There's no way I would remarry someone who calls me a monster. You don't see me as a human being. You haven't changed at all over the past 5 years.
Well, it's not like I was lying. You're a monster and a fool. Who wouldn't look down on you?
That's exactly why we can't be together.
Shut up. You will marry me again. You don't have another choice.
No, I refuse.
You will do as I say, woman. If you don't come willingly, I'll drag you here myself.
Is that a threat?
Didn't you know? I used to be a boxer. One punch from me and you'd be out cold.
Be careful with your words, Stephen.
You don't seem to get it. You're beneath me. You don't have a choice. You will come here and remarry me. If not, I'll make sure you regret it. I'll wipe that smug look off your face.
Do you really want to remarry me that much? You must be desperate. How about this? Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. I need to discuss this with my family first. Can you give me a few days?
Fine, but make it quick. If I don't hear from you by tomorrow, I'm coming to find you.
Tomorrow is too soon. I need more time. Give me 3 days. I'll give you an answer then.
Don't push your luck. Take your 3 days, but don't be late. And remember, saying no might not be the best idea for you. Alright, I gave you 3 days. What's your answer? Make it quick or face the consequences. You don't really have a choice here.
You're right. I only have one choice. And that is to absolutely refuse to remarry you under any circumstances.
What? Why are you still resisting? Aren't you scared?
No matter how I look at it, refusing you is the only option. You can threaten me all you want. Physical harm is nothing compared to the thought of spending my life with you again. I will never remarry you. That's final.
Oh, come on. How are you going to protect yourself? Just be quiet and agree to remarry me. It's not like I'm thrilled about remarrying someone like you either. I'm doing this for your sake.
I have a message for you.
What? From who? It's better not be from your annoying parents.
He said not to bother coming into work tomorrow.
Who does he think he is? Telling me what to do? Not go to work tomorrow? That's a joke.
My husband. You're being let go, so there's no need for you to go to the office anymore.
What? Husband? Stop messing around. And who are you to get me fired? What makes this husband of yours so special?
We had a meeting with your company's upper management yesterday. We requested that they terminate your employment and they agreed. Technically, it was a message from your boss.
Wait a minute. How did you get in touch with upper management? What's going on here?
I never said I was single. That was your assumption. Who would want to marry someone as horrifically deformed as you? Remember saying that?
What are you talking about? Stop lying. There's no way someone like you could ever date or marry again.
I'm telling the truth. I got remarried 3 years ago. If you don't believe me, check the records yourself.
This can't be true. You're going to ruin my life.
After your threats 3 days ago, I consulted with my husband. We decided to sue you for extortion and start gathering information about you for our lawyer. When we found out that you work for Comcor, it felt like we hit the jackpot.
You're joking, right? An important business partner of Comcorp? You don't mean Alpire, do you?
Yes, that's right. The CEO of Alpire is David Applebaum, my husband. Anyway, long story short, it wasn't hard to get in touch with your company's head and file a complaint against you. After all, your actions could threaten the business relationship between Comcor and Alpire. Without Alpire's financial management and technical support, Comcor would be filing bankruptcy within a year.
That contract is our company's lifeline. Losing it would be a disaster.
I heard there would be millions in damages too. That doesn't look good for you, Stephen. If you don't want more problems, maybe you should treat me with a bit more respect.
What are you talking about? I didn't threaten you. Where's your proof? I haven't touched you. Suing me over this is completely irrational, let alone involving my work. Are you out of your mind?
I'm going to beat you into a pulp until your body matches that mangled face of yours? Doesn't that sound like a threat of violence? I will look for your house and drag you here myself? Sounds like kidnapping to me. I have all the proof I need. I've printed out copies of your threatening text messages. We're not just planning to sue you. I've also filed a report with the police and I'm getting a restraining order.
I was just blowing off steam. I wasn't actually going to hurt you. I just wanted to scare you a little. We used to be a couple. How could you do this to someone you used to love? I lost my temper and said things I shouldn't have. That's all. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill.
What does it matter that we were married before? I haven't had anything to do with you for years. The time I spent with you was the darkest point of my life. I have no love for you. I can't ignore threats made by the same man who scalded my face.
It was an accident. I'm not a violent person.
Maybe it wasn't intentional, but it was your carelessness that caused it. And if that wasn't enough, since then, you've repeatedly tormented me by calling me a monster, disgusting, and unlovable. At the time, I didn't think there was anything I could do to protect myself, but now I know that the law is on my side.
You went to the police? You contacted my company? Sure, I'm not perfect, but do I deserve this? Fix it. You're going to ruin my life. Do something.
It's out of my hands now. After all, your company would rather lose an employee than a business partner, right? You threatened the wife of a major company CEO. There are consequences for your actions.
No way. This can't be happening. My life is over. How am I supposed to find another job with all these health issues?
If you want me to withdraw the damage report, we'll have to settle this out of court. Until then, you'll have a criminal record.
You're going to ruin my life. Do something. Stop this.
Oh, really? It's about time. Don't act surprised. You're just reaping what you sowed. We just heard back from the Comcorp executives. Seems like they fired you after all. Big surprise.
Thanks to you, I'm unemployed. What am I supposed to do now? You've ruined everything. I'm too sick to get another full-time job. How am I supposed to pay my medical bills now? Where am I supposed to go now? I've got no money and nowhere to go.
I guess you'll just have to keep looking around. I'm sure somebody will take pity on you eventually.
When did you become so vicious? You're not the Roslyn I used to know. Have you no remorse? You used to be so kind and understanding.
My husband has decided to maintain the working relationship between Alpire and Comcorp. They made a wise decision to get rid of you. After all, you were the one at fault, not your company. It really wouldn't have been fair to bring a whole business down over someone as trivial as you. Despite their decision, I will not drop the charges against you as an individual.
I've already been fired. Don't you think that's enough? Aren't you satisfied with that?
You still haven't paid me back for the burns, slander, and threats. Surely you haven't forgotten about all that. Don't make me laugh. Of course I won't let you off the hook that easily.
Are you really Roslyn? The Roslyn I knew would never be so cruel. I understand that you are angry, but let's calm down and talk this out. This isn't you. You were the kindest, most accepting, most understanding woman I've ever known. What's changed? What's wrong with you?
You're right. I'm not the same person you knew. After I met David, I realized that I had been hiding my true self as a defense mechanism. I was kind because I feared cruelty. I was accepting because I believed I deserved to be treated poorly. I was understanding because I refused to have my needs taken seriously. David has made me feel like it's okay to be myself. He's rebuilt my confidence in myself. I feel more beautiful now with a disfigured face than I ever did back then. All you ever did was pull me down. You controlled me through fear. I couldn't be true to myself in that sort of environment. Now that I'm free, I can speak my mind without fear. I can stand on my own 2 feet against you.
Roslyn, I'm sorry, okay? I apologize. I was a horrible husband and I'm a failure of a man. I only think about myself. I have anger issues that I refuse to do anything about. I drink too much and I get defensive when people call me out.
It's a little late for you to apologize, don't you think? If you knew all of this about yourself, why have you done nothing to change?
I'm sorry, really. I shouldn't have tried to force you to remarry me. I just panicked. I feel like a little kid again and I have nobody to turn to for help. I'm so sick and I don't know what to do. I should have just been honest with you, but I couldn't let go of my ego. Please understand.
Please, don't use your illness as an excuse.
You have to understand. My condition is critical. I'm going in for treatments, but nothing seems to be working. It just keeps getting worse. The treatments take everything out of me. I've lost 1/3 of my body weight. I'm the shell of a man. I felt desperate, so I said some horrible things. That's all. Please understand where I'm coming from.
Your horrible attitude didn't start with your illness. It goes way back. Can't you see? You haven't changed at all. You have always said horrible things to me, even when you were in perfect health. Even when I was in the hospital suffering from my burns, you couldn't offer me a single word of kindness or support. Why ask me to be any kinder to you now that you are the one suffering? The reason you are so contemptible is because you are rotten to the core.
Was I really that horrible to you?
I don't know why you can't understand. I can see right through you. You aren't telling me these things because you want my forgiveness. You just want me to drop the charges against you. You're trying to manipulate me.
No, that's not it. Really.
I'm your ex-wife. I understand your personality well. I know where your heart is. You have no remorse. You think you are in the right no matter what. And you are too proud to ever admit defeat unless there's no other way out. Can't you see? Between the two of us, the real monster is you. Stephen decided to pay us every dollar to his name in order to settle out of court. In the end, we received over $200,000. Left unemployed and unable to find another position due to his worsening illness, Stephen never recovered financially or physically. A year after the settlement, I heard from some coworkers that Stephen was only given a few weeks to live. The disease had spread to his heart and lungs. It's been 3 months since then. As of now, I'm not sure if he's dead or alive. To be honest, I have been avoiding any news about Stephen. I don't want to know either way. I'm enjoying my life with David. I never thought I'd be this close to another human being. He's my best friend, and I can't imagine life without him. He doesn't care about my burns. He sees value in me beyond my physical appearance. I finally found real love, and I've never been happier.